Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Janine. Thank you for clicking on this video. So today is the beginning of my wedding series. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about in this series was my wedding, just because I've been feeling really nostalgic lately, and wow, the sun is going down really fast. Our 1-year anniversary is coming up very soon, in like another month and 10 days, and I think that's super crazy. I just wanted to talk about the things that we did and the decisions that we made, and yeah, this is my grand wedding. Wow, the sun is like down already. So I am going to constantly refer to some things as like uncompromisable. So I call them uncompromisables because there are just some things that I really couldn't compromise with, or you know, things that I just didn't want to change that I've always wanted. Some of those things were the size of the wedding, because I have always wanted like this big grand wedding ever since I was a kid. I'm an indecisive person, and it actually showed a lot throughout the planning of our wedding, because throughout the year, because it was exactly a year from when we got engaged to when we got married, we kept going, well, at least I kept going back and forth, saying like maybe we should do small wedding, maybe we should just like cut the list, like just do half, because half was pretty much just like our family. So my family, I thought it was a lot bigger, but my family in the States that we were actually close to and we see often, like for holidays and things like that, there was about 30 of them. So that by itself is already like a really small wedding. And then my husband's family was like 80, so that by itself was already like 110 people, and then that didn't even include any of our friends. That was solely family. We definitely needed to have a big wedding just because we wanted to share it, and we wanted to, like, you know, celebrate this huge coming together. My husband just kept telling me, you know, will you regret it later if you cut down your wedding and made it small? That's why I'm really glad that we had a big wedding, because ever since I was a kid, that has never changed until I started planning and seeing the budget and all of the money that was going out. But it was worth it in the end, because now I'm happy we did this big thing, and now if we wanted to celebrate again, it can be small and intimate. That was my first thing, my first uncompromisable. The highest priority was to have a big wedding. My second priority was food. I like the idea of being served a plated dinner, but because you're being served a plated dinner, there wasn't really options. We ended up choosing a buffet dinner so that there could be options, because I like steak, my sister likes chicken, and my mom likes fish. But they also like all three at the same time. So we, as a family in general, we like variety. We're definitely the type of family that when we eat out, we try everybody's food. That's kind of how I wanted it to be, because that's how my family is, and we share everything, and I wanted everyone to get a share. I didn't want to worry too much about it. I didn't want to like keep track of whose plate was whose, because I didn't want them to, you know, mess it up on the day of and things like that. I didn't want to worry about any of that. Anyway, that was number 2. Number 3 on the list is the venue. So I wanted something open. Like, I needed to have something open, because I've always loved that. I used to live in a really big house when I was younger, going through elementary and like middle school and stuff. When you walk in, there's high ceilings, like minimal hallways, minimal walls, minimal pillars. We didn't have any pillars actually. I have always loved that feeling. I like feeling, you know, you're able to breathe, you're able to see everything from every angle, and everyone's together. I even told my husband, and he doesn't believe me when I say this, but I always tell him, I'm like, if we could live in a loft or even a studio that like was completely a blank slate, I would love that, because you can do anything with it, first of all, but everything is just together, and like you can see everything, you know where everything is, and then you create your own vibe with it, I guess. Yeah, that's just why I really wanted something open. I love high ceiling. I told Amin, my husband, I liked modern and he liked more rustic. I was like, if we can find a venue that's modern, then it would be really great, because it's easy to have rustic decor, because modern decor was actually pretty expensive. So it ended up working out. Yeah, those are my top 3 big uncompromisable things of my wedding. And then we also had like a lot of cool things. So for the actual wedding, we had this floral arch in the front. I sing in church choir. My husband doesn't anymore, but he did back then. And sometimes we would perform for weddings at the chapel, and we noticed that no one had arches. There would be a few that had arches at the podium. I didn't want arches at the podium because I sing in choir, so I would like to have the choir showcase pretty much. So I didn't want them to be blocked, and they never really decorated the lobby. So that was something that I wanted to do, because in the chapel that we were getting married in, when you walk in, it's just this really open lobby, a beautiful chandelier on top, and then nothing was really decorated. There might have been a table that said, you know, their names and stuff. So that's something that we had. We had a sign that had our names on it with some flowers, and it was all wooden. And then that was DIY. Thank you to Anna and Jenny for doing that, and then my husband is the one who stained it and put it all together and wrote on it. It came out really great. They glued on those flowers last minute. And then they also helped me with that arch that was in the lobby. I bought so many fake flowers for it, and it was just this like really simple like PVC pipe arch that was like right above the door when you walked in, so that when you walk in you came through like these flowers pretty much. And that took forever. Also, thank you to my bridesmaids, and especially my sister. I'm pretty sure her fingers were bleeding after that. My husband too, because he's the one who pretty much did everything for the chapel. So after you walk in, you go inside, and we have two separate entrances because males sit on one side and females sit on the other. Since you walk in from the sides, you enter through the sides instead of down the middle. So because I didn't want to be seen before I walked down the aisle, I had my husband make curtains. It was actually his idea, but he's the one who made it. So we had like these really tall curtains, and they were kind of stacked a little bit for cost and also for dimension. He is the artsy guy. I have an accounting mind. I like structure. I can't really picture things in my head. He was the mastermind behind it. So we have these beautiful, really simple, also PVC pipe curtains. I actually last minute hired a florist because my aunt and like my past babysitter, she's also pretty much my aunt, they actually were the ones to do our flowers for the reception. And then there was another sister who also went to my church. She mostly did flowers. So I ended up hiring her last minute. I was like, you know what? I completely forgot about the ceremony. Can you please decorate it? So we already had the fabric because I wanted little, I don't know what you call them. It's like fabric that just connects pew to pew. And then she put flowers, you know, every other one. And then she also built these like art, I don't know what else you would call them, prisms. She built these wooden prisms and painted them gold, and then also put flowers on there. You'll see it in my pictures, okay? She made those, and it was so beautiful. I did not expect it. She also put some on the arches and on the curtains, and oh my gosh, that turned out really beautiful. Her name is Emily to Mama. So that was pretty much the wedding. We also used just an old bench that we had. That's something that you might want to consider, because sometimes they'll give you like regular chairs, but I'm like, girl, I paid for my dress. You're gonna see all of it through my veil. So yeah, I wanted to have a bench that showed my back when we sat down. My dress also had these beautiful buttons in the back, and it just kind of like lined down all the way down to my butt, and like that I needed for people to see that. I don't know. I didn't actually wear my veil for the whole night. I only wore it for the ceremony. After that, I was like done, because I knew that thing was not gonna stay on my head. That was pretty much it. So our venue, so the venue we had was called Enclave. So it's mostly known for its concert hall. We had the Madrigal, which was the ballroom, and it was this really, really tall, high ceiling, beautiful ballroom that came with its own little chandeliers. I only say that because I take pride in the Las Vegas chapel chandeliers. And also, if you've been to Henderson too, those are even bigger. But yeah, those chandeliers are those are magnificent. So the other ones didn't impress me as much in the ballroom, but they were still very beautiful. They were modern, they were round. It was really tall, it was very open. It fit, I think if you were not to do a dance floor at all, like no area for the dance floor, it could fit 320 seated. We had 270, so we had, no. I think we had 250. I think I keep telling people we had 270. I think only like 220 showed up actually. Yeah, now that I think of it, it was 250. So I keep telling people 270, it's not 270. We invited over 300 though. Whatever, anyway. So we had 250 people there. We had 25 tables. We last minute added the garden. It wasn't really that last minute, it was like the last few months because my mom, she like, honestly, she's like the worst person to talk to about this sometimes, because she's like, what will people think of this and what will people think of that, you know, like typical Asian moms, you know. As much as I want to say it doesn't matter what other people think, I did want people to have a good time. So if it was something that, if I came to a wedding and I was impressed, then I feel like I would have had a good time. You know what I mean? So that's the biggest reason why I ended up doing some of the things that my mom was suggesting, even though it costed me way more money. I booked the garden because of her, I booked hors d'oeuvres because of her, and yeah. Anyway, when you walk in, it's like this huge roundabout where cars can drive you, but before the actual reception, there's this little garden area on the side. So you go in through the side door and it's the garden, and I wanted to have some friends play music at the time, you know, live music, just like instrumentals. If someone can sing, that would be really good, but I think there was something going on with like the speakers and the audio, so they weren't able to do that. I actually didn't even go out there, and I regret that. I wish I went out. I don't know why I was still hiding from everyone. We ended up deciding to get a garden and then have charcuterie. We completely forgot that there was not even any meat there. It was just cheese. And then we also bought a few games. So we had like ladder golf, we had like knock the cans, whatever. We had a few other things. There's 2 other games, so if I remember it, it'll be around here somewhere. I agreed to having that because people are waiting for us anyway. We're taking pictures after the ceremony, so you know, it'll be a good way for people to unwind and, you know, like kind of relax before the reception, get to know some of the other guests. A lot of them haven't seen each other for a long time, so this is like a family reunion. That's why we wanted to do that. And then we closed off the separate exit. I think it was only an emergency exit, so we cut that off because it's right next to the garden, so that they had to completely exit the garden and then go through the front doors. The front doors that leads to the prelude, it's pretty much the lobby of the reception hall. I was about to pay straight up $1,000, $1,500 just for that, because they said I needed to book that actual lobby in order to get the screens, even though the guests had to walk through there anyway. My event coordinator, so he actually moved the buffet outside to the prelude. He didn't want the guests to feel cramped, so he actually gave it to us for free because we had so many guests. The biggest reason why this was really awesome is because I could not, for the life of me, choose what I wanted to do for the seating chart. And on top of that, it kept changing like there was no tomorrow. Yeah, it was super crazy. I was the one to edit the seating chart, did it on Photoshop really quickly, and then I just sent it to the tech guys to make sure that everything was fine. But the seating chart was on these screens. I think there was 16 screens that made up one huge screen, and then that's how people found their spots. Oh, also, there was actually a screen outside too, which I did not get a picture of. I think one of my coworkers has a picture in front of it, but it looks really terrible in pictures, but it looks really great in person. It just says welcome to our wedding. So yeah, so once you walk in, you see kind of the food and then the place to sit, and then you kind of go around the corner to the middle of the ballroom, so that when you walk in, you're literally in the middle. Right before you walked in, there's like this little tiny hallway. That's where we moved our arch to, so it came from the chapel to the hallway, I guess. And then we also had a few pictures of us. I just put some pictures in the frame and like some drawings that he's an artist, so he likes to draw and paint and do all of these kinds of things. So sometimes he would draw us together, and I put that in there. He drew me a picture of himself holding pizza, and since I had that, I just put that on the table. We had like photo albums for Polaroids, and they just took pictures of themselves and just put it in there, and then they wrote a little saying on it and their greeting. That was kind of like our guest book. There was also a GoPro, which no one really used, which kind of made sense, but I'm glad that it was there because we had some funny footage. Oh, I completely forgot, there was also the photo booth in the front. So we actually had one of our friends, his name is Dino, he's out in San Diego area. He came down to do our photo booth and everything, and I was able to customize it, so I did everything on Photoshop, and it worked out and it was great, and I'm so happy for it. He did an amazing job. All of the pictures came out really nicely, and then he sent me digital versions of them, so that was really awesome. Honestly, I can't remember what else was on that table. I think it was like a little section for gifts and stuff, and then we had this little glass, like little farmhouse kind of thing. It was literally just like this and then down. so it looked like a house, and then you just open the side and you can put your cards in there and stuff. That was like gold and glass, so you know, modern. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the hallway from what I can remember. And then when you walk inside, we had these really tall cone-ish shaped vases. So it came up like this. They were 24 inches tall. My mom's best friend was actually the one who made it, along with my aunt, who also babysat me. They did like a bunch of white flowers and some eucalyptus. It was mostly green and white. The biggest reason why I only wanted those colors is because we decided not to go with ivory tablecloths. I kind of wish that we did, only to brighten up the room a little bit, but at the same time, $1,000 on tablecloths that no one else would have noticed, I think it was worth it in the end. But yeah, we just had gray tablecloths. The chairs were gray and modern. Honestly, they were just the house chairs, so we didn't get any like fancy chairs. We could have, but you know, $8 a chair, 250 people, not worth it. So, you know, they just need a place to sit. That's all that mattered, really. On top of that, we had also bought little tiny succulents from LA. My bridesmaids stamped all the pots. They stamped all of the pots. I'm so thankful for them because they're like the biggest perfectionists I've ever met before in my life. Every single one of them was hand stamped. I actually also kind of photoshopped that myself. On top of that, also, we didn't have any chargers. Like I said, you know, 50 cents for 250 people, that's like $125 for plates that they don't even use, just for decorations, you know what I mean? So the table was actually pretty empty. We didn't even have a program. We didn't really have much. We also had coasters, so we also made the coasters. So if you've seen my coasters, they are actually a little less cool. Those were also just hand stamped with some gold ink. They had like little stickers at the bottom. That's literally what they were. They were just foam stickers at the bottom that were actually sticky on both sides, and we only removed one side. So the bottoms are actually slippery, but now, you know, I use something else, so order for me. It's way better now. And the great thing about that ink too is that it was really like shiny and bright rather than like dark and dull kind of gold, you know what I mean? We had those. I put them in boxes. We actually got little stickers also. So my husband, he won a contest to get himself drawn by an artist online. I'll put his tag down here somewhere. He paid a little bit extra to get the both of us, and then we ended up using that art for our wedding. We also included that artwork on our photos, on our photo booth. There's a sticker on top of the box of the coasters that we had. Also included with the succulents, they're just like these little things that you put into the dirt part, and then it had like this round thing at the top so that you can insert a card on it. That's what I used for their nameplates. And then it was kind of like an envelope, so you folded it up, and it's usually for like gift cards or something like that. But when you fold it up, the way to seal it was to pinch it, and then the little pinchy thingy was a heart. So I thought that was like super cute. I was like, oh my gosh, these are great. And then I just hand wrote with like a paint marker all the names and stuff. On the inside, actually, if you open up those cards, it tells you how to take care of your plants, and it was really cute. I just wish it was a little bit brighter, like I said, because the tablecloths were gray, so it was kind of dark in there. So for our table,
I totally forgot to mention about the table numbers that we did, and my bridesmaids helped me and they did a really good job. Anna, thank you again, because she's the one who drew the numbers on it. Oh my gosh, it looked amazing.
We ended up doing a sweetheart table because, you know, most of our entourage already had partners, and not all of their partners were part of the entourage. So we wanted them to sit together with each other. So we just had a sweetheart table, and it was just us two. The way that they had decorated it, I just like entrusted them with everything. So they just put like a bunch of like greens and eucalyptus, and then they had like little turn on lights, like candle lights that flickered, so it looked real, and it actually was made out of wax, which I thought was pretty cool. So they had that, and it was just like scattered on the table, and it was beautiful and it was amazing. That's pretty much what we did for our wedding. But yeah, oh my gosh, I talked so much. I don't even think I included everything. I just wanted you guys to get a gist of what our wedding was like, so that you can kind of picture everything going on when I talk about it. So yeah, all right, you guys, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to comment down below if you thought this video was helpful, what ideas that you liked, what ideas that you would not go with, because you know everybody's different, everyone wants different things. So let me know. I would love to hear your guys' ideas, because every time I watch somebody else's videos, even though that I'm married already, I'm just like, wow, that's a good idea, you know? Or like, oh, I wouldn't have done that. Yeah, just let me know in the comments below. I really want to hear what you guys have to say and what you guys did for your wedding and your plans. We had a pretty big budget, and honestly, we spent way over our budget, like almost twice as much. So yeah, let me know in the comments below. Seriously, you guys, I want to talk to you. Like, I want to have conversations in the comment section. So let me know, okay? All right, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends and your family, and don't forget to subscribe and click the post notification so you never miss a video from me. All right, you guys, see you, so good.